The doors sealed shut behind me with a hiss, and 200 alien eyes turned to stare, and I knew right then that this day was going to test everything I had. My name is Mara, and I was the only human student in the entire building. The school sat on a ring station far above a world I could not even pronounce, built for the sons and daughters of the strongest species in known space. Everyone else had claws, or scales, or 6 limbs, or skin that could stop a blade. I had none of that. I had 2 arms, 2 legs, and skin that bruised if a desk corner caught it wrong. The whispers started before I even sat down. A tall boy named Darren, built like a wall with plates of hard skin across his shoulders, leaned toward his friends and said, loud enough for the whole room to hear, that the soft one had arrived. His friends laughed. Someone near the back made a small whimpering sound, mocking me, pretending to be scared of a breeze. I kept walking. I found my seat near the middle of the room and sat down without looking at anyone. I had learned a long time ago that giving them a reaction was the same as giving them a prize. The teacher walked in a moment later. Her name was Instructor Vel, and she stood taller than any human I had ever seen, with skin like polished metal that caught the light every time she moved. She did not smile. She never smiled. She simply looked at the room until it went quiet, and then she spoke. Today, she said, was the start of the species presentations. Each student would bring an example of the most notable creature from their home planet, something that showed the true nature of where they came from. The strongest, the fastest, the most feared. Something that proved a point. Darren raised a clawed hand right away and asked if the human even had anything worth bringing. He said it with a grin, and the room laughed again, and this time, even a few of the quieter students joined in. I did not raise my hand. I did not argue. I only said one thing. You will see. That was it. 4 words. But something in my voice made a few of them stop laughing, just for a second, and I saw it land, small and quiet, like a seed dropped into dry ground. For the rest of that week, the mocking never stopped. In the hallways, students would step aside dramatically, pretending I might break if they brushed against me. In the dining hall, someone left a soft cushion at my table as a joke, saying humans probably needed something gentle to sit on. I ate my meal without a word, and threw the cushion away when I left. At night, alone in my small room on the station, I would call home. My grandfather always picked up, his face tired but steady on the screen, sitting in the same chair he always sat in, with the same quiet dog resting near his feet just out of view. He would ask how school was going, and I would tell him it was fine, because I did not want him to worry about a fight that was not his to fight. But he always knew. He always asked the same question. Are you ready to show them who we are? And every time, I said yes. The day of the presentations arrived faster than I expected. The auditorium was massive, built to hold every student in the cohort at once, with high ceilings and rows of seats curving around a raised platform at the center. Staff had already given their presentations that morning. One student brought a recording of a creature from an ocean world that could crush stone with a single motion. Another brought a living sample of an insect the size of a large dog, its shell glowing faintly under the lights, and the room gasped when it moved. Darren went before me. He brought forward a creature from his own world, a beast with 6 legs and jaws that could snap through metal cable, kept behind a thick barrier of reinforced glass. The room applauded. He looked at me the entire time he spoke, as if daring me to match it. Then Instructor Vel called my name. I stood up. My hands were steady, though my heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my ears. I walked to the platform, alone, with nothing in my hands and nothing beside me, and I heard the whispers start again immediately. No creature, no sample, no recording. Just a girl standing on an empty stage. Darren laughed loud enough for everyone to hear. He said the human had nothing after all, that Earth must truly be the softest, safest, most boring planet in the galaxy, a place with nothing worth fearing at all. I let him finish. I let the laughter spread through the room, let it grow, let every student lean back in their seats feeling comfortable and superior. I wanted them fully settled before I said a single word. Then I looked toward the sealed doors at the back of the auditorium and gave the signal. The doors opened. The room did not go quiet all at once. It went quiet in a wave, starting near the back and rolling forward, as every head turned to see what was walking through the entrance. 4 legs, a broad chest, a coat the color of dark rust. Ears standing straight up, eyes scanning the room with total calm, moving with the kind of confidence that did not need to be loud to be felt. His name was Bruno. He walked down the center aisle at an easy pace, not rushing, not hesitating, his claws clicking softly against the floor with every step. Students on either side leaned away without meaning to, some of them half rising from their seats, others going completely still, as if stillness might make them invisible. Darren, sitting in the front row with his 6-legged creature safely behind reinforced glass, watched Bruno approach with wide eyes and did not laugh anymore. Bruno reached the platform, walked up beside me, and sat down at my side like it was the most natural thing in the world. He did not growl. He did not bare his teeth. He simply looked out at the room, calm and unbothered, the way a mountain looks calm and unbothered, no matter what happens around it. I placed a hand on his shoulder and finally spoke. "Earth does not have shells," I said. "We do not have claws that can cut through metal, or skin like armor plating, or venom that can drop a grown animal in seconds. For most of our history, we were some of the softest, slowest, weakest creatures walking our own planet. We could not outrun the fastest hunters. We could not outfight the strongest ones. If you judged us only by our bodies, you would think we should have vanished a long time ago. But we did something no other creature on our world ever managed to do. We looked at the most dangerous animals we could find, the ones with teeth built for tearing and instincts built for hunting, and instead of only fearing them or fighting them, some of us sat down beside them. We fed them from our own hands. We slept near them through cold nights. Over thousands of years, we shaped them, not by removing what made them strong, but by giving them something new to stand beside. Loyalty, trust, a reason to walk toward danger instead of away from it, because someone they loved was standing there. Bruno comes from a line of dogs bred for one purpose only, to walk beside hunters into the coldest, harshest places on our planet, and face animals many times his size without stepping back. He was never bred to be gentle for the sake of being gentle. He was bred to be steady, calm until the moment calm was no longer useful, and then completely unshakable. I looked directly at Darren as I said the next part. "You laughed because I did not bring a creature with claws or a shell or a venomous bite. You thought that meant Earth had nothing worth fearing. But the truth is, the most dangerous thing my planet ever produced was not a claw or a fang. It was a bond. It was the ability to take something wild and fierce and make it choose loyalty over instinct, again and again, forever." The room stayed silent. Even Instructor Vel, standing near the side of the platform with her arms folded, did not move. I knelt down beside Bruno and rested my hand on his head, and he leaned into it slightly, eyes still scanning the room with quiet awareness. "He is not dangerous to anyone in this room right now," I said. "Not because he cannot be. Because he has decided he does not need to be. That decision is the whole point. That is what my planet built. Over thousands of years, one bond at a time. Not the strongest body in the galaxy, the strongest kind of trust." For a long moment, nobody said anything at all. Then, slowly, a girl near the middle of the room, one of the quieter students who had never joined in the laughing, began to clap. Another student followed. Then another, and another, until the sound rolled through the auditorium the same way the silence had rolled through it minutes before, wave after wave, until even some of the loudest students from that first day were clapping along without seeming to notice they had started. Darren did not clap, but he did not laugh either. He sat very still, staring at Bruno with an expression I had not seen on him before, something between respect and simple surprise. Instructor Vel stepped forward at last and said that this was, without question, the most important presentation of the term. She said it was easy to measure strength by claws and shells and venom. It was much harder, and much more valuable, to measure the strength of a bond that could turn a wild predator into a steady companion, willing to face anything at your side. I walked off that platform with Bruno beside me, his steps calm and even, matching mine. Nobody stepped aside dramatically in the hallway that day. Nobody left a soft cushion on my table at dinner. When I passed Darren later that evening, he gave me a small nod, The kind one strong creature gives another when it finally understands what it is looking at. That night, I called my grandfather again. He looked at me through the screen with the same tired, steady face, and I told him everything, every word of it, all the way to the end. He listened quietly, and when I finished, he simply said that he always knew they would understand eventually. Every planet has its own kind of strength. Ours had just always been harder to see, until the moment it walked into the room and sat down right beside you. I looked over at Bruno, curled up near the door of my small room, already half asleep, utterly unbothered by anything that had happened that day. They laughed at the little human girl. They did not laugh again after her pet walked into class.